Welcome back to my live, and today's live is going to be a virtual interactive live. Special guest, I am Tracy Lee, and the topic for today is wellness habits for a better life with a wellness health enthusiast. And without further ado, I welcome you. I am Tracy Lee.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
I'm great
Can you
tonight. I'm
hear
gonna
me?
need to turn you up a little bit. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
Can you hear me clear?
No, I didn't hear you just now. I see you move your lips, but I didn't
Yes,
hear.
because I muted it by mistake. How about now?
Yes, I hear you better now. Yes,
Okay, yeah,
welcome
I'm
to the
saying
live.
I have to turn you up. Yep, okay,
Yes,
there it goes. Okay, I can hear you good now.
yes.
So I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm humbled and I appreciate any opportunity to come and talk about health and wellness because I am extremely passionate about it. Over the past 10 years, this has been my life. This is what I do. And so I'm grateful to be here tonight to share on your panel.
Happy to have you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna wait on your when you're ready for me to go, I'm gonna go. Hi Burns, how you doing, Queen?
Welcome to the live. Welcome, Thais. Welcome, Vern's Junkyard. How are you? You can go ahead, Miss Lee.
Okay, so I
Tracy Lee.
did yes, I sent out a few invites to some people. Like I said, I am Tracy Lee. My name is Tracy. I am a health and wellness coach. This is my passion. And I just wanted to share with you guys what got me into the health and wellness field and how I got started in it. I couldn't go back 10 years ago. I started being more mindful of my health and things that I put in my body. I was the primary caretaker for my mom, who was diagnosed in 2007 with ovarian cancer. At this time, we worked on changing her diet and things of that nature. And she did take a turn for the better. However, the cancer was so advanced and so progressed that she did ultimately succumb to the disease in 2010. And so, you know how when you go to the doctor, one of the things that the doctor asks you is your family history. They want to know what took place in, father, what went on with your mother. Is it anybody in your family with high blood pressure? Is there anybody who deals with diabetes and things of that nature? Because this is how they ultimately judge where to test you at, what areas to test you in at. And so I made up in my mind that year that I've always been passionate about herbs and things like that. But I made up in my mind that year that I was going to really dig down deep and get into studying herbology and holistic medications in a more holistic way of approach. Number one, after seeing what chemo does to the body. And, if I could be real frank and real honest with you guys, my mom didn't pass away from ovarian cancer. Chemo what with my mother. Okay. And it is a very harsh treatment. I do know people who have went an alternative holistic route and are alive and well to tell their story and their testimony today. However, when an individual is sick, they're in a position to make their own decisions. That's what they do. And my mom chose the chemotherapy route. Fast forward, I got into holistic studies. I began to study herbs. I studied Dr. Sebi way of living and eating and things of that nature. I began to get into making my own sea moss gel and making my own herbal capsules and things like that. And guys, I can tell you today that I have not been sick. When I go to the doctor, yeah, I give them the backdrop on what's going on. Um, with my family history because this is the information that they asked for. But I did go through a bout of hypothyroidism, and that was immediately after my mom passed away, and came to discover through my studies, guys, that it was a direct a reaction to stress in the body. And so stress in the body caused a hormonal imbalance, which in turn caused an endocrine. That's what your thyroid is a part of the endocrine system, cause that to go out of whack. And I can share with you guys the doctors diagnosed me with Graves' disease. They say that there is no cure for Graves' disease. I had a goiter out to here, literally my neck and my face was the same. It met in the same place, and so I began to incorporate these herbs and put into play the study that I've taken with herbology, things of that nature, and I never took any type of thyroid medication. Went back for a thyroid follow up, and he was surprised to say the least. Um, and his first thought was that the medication that they prescribed me was actually working. And I had to let him know, bust his little bubble and let him know that no, I never took the medication. I implemented Damiana. I implemented ashwagandha root. I implemented burdock root. I implemented yellow dock. I implemented sea moss. I implemented all these herbs, and the body being able to or created to heal itself did just that because I gave it the support that it needed so that it can rebalance itself. And guys, that was okay. My mom died in 2010. I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism slash Graves' disease in 2011. And 6 months after that diagnosis, I've been uh, I've been well. Okay. I do not have
Right.
a diagnosis of any type of thyroid endocrine illnesses or anything of that nature. My TS levels are normal. My thyroid is normal. There are no antibodies for Graves' disease in my body. And I attribute that to me taking the initiative to implement holistic health in a more holistic way of living in my life and in my lifestyle. Now, it wasn't just the herbs, guys. I also had to change the way that I eat. I was a hormonal or emotional eater, and emotional eaters are 9 times out of 10 more likely to suffer with hormonal weight challenges. And so I went through that phase, and as I implemented the herbs and things of that nature and healed my thyroid or gave my body what it needed to heal itself, because again, the body was created to heal itself. And so when I gave my body what it needed to rebalance and heal itself, then everything else fell into place as well. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys that over the years I haven't slipped back into eating things that I shouldn't be eating because I have. I've always been a yo-yo emotional eater. And so now I got to deal with the mental part of why I'm eating like this, and let's get this together. And so what I want to share with you guys today is 3 wellness habits for a better life. And I'm sharing with you guys from experience, okay? I'm sharing with you guys. I'm not telling you something that I read in a book. I do read. I like to have my personal development on. I like to get my self help on. I like to read my scriptures and my Bible. But I'm telling you guys what I've experienced personally, what has me, okay? Because the whole point of I feel that when you go through a challenge or you deal with a struggle in your life and you find yourself on the other side of it, you have the responsibility to share it. And so that's why I'm here for today, guys, tonight, guys. And I'm grateful and I'm humbled to be a part of this platform tonight to be able to share my story. You guys may see me look down because I have my notes here on my phone, but I want to share with you, and there's so many habits that you can pick up and change to better way of living or to get on a road or a path of discovering your the best version of yourself. Let me put it like that. Okay. So the number one thing, guys, that I realized and I had to learn and I had to put into practice in order to see a physical change, a mental change in my life is I had to begin to practice having an attitude of gratitude. Okay, that is important. When we talk about wellness, we're not just talking about physical wellness. We're talking about a mental wellness. We're talking about an emotional wellness. We're talking about a physical wellness, and we're also talking about a spiritual wellness. So those four aspects, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, is the holistic um part of a man that you want to, I mean, if you're on a road to getting to the best version of yourself, then these are the four areas that you need to tackle or practice, put into practice, to be well on your way to the best version of yourself. And so we dealing with the mental, because like I said, if you're an emotional eater, then there's some things mentally that needs to be dealt with, right? And so mentally, the first thing that I had to develop is learning to have an attitude of gratitude. We can find 10 million things a day to complain about and not be mindful that we got things to be thankful for as well. I want to put it like this. I tell people, even though the glass is half empty, you have to remember that it's also half full. And us as human beings, we like to tend to focus on the half empty part of the glass and just overlook the part of the glass that's half full. And so I had to redirect my focus to have a gratitude, or be grateful for the part of the glass that's half full. And so I started to pay more attention to the half full part of the glass. I started to realize that there were things in my life that I was not being grateful and thankful for. And I started to give attention to those things. And so before my feet hit the floor, I started to begin to open my mouth and just be thankful, number one, for another day on this side of heaven. Another day that I get an opportunity uh, um, to change, to make my life a little bit more better, to make a difference in the lives of somebody else. Okay. And so I practiced the attitude of gratitude, and I practiced on focusing on that half full portion of the glass. Okay. Because, yeah, we can spend our time, and that's what we do as people. We just like to complain. I also, in my practice, let me say this: people say, or psychology says, it takes 21 days to make or break a habit, right? So, and I feel like, okay, the 21 days is a start, but you still need to um, keep that thing into practice, because a lot of way uh, habits and things that we've developed over the years, it took longer than 21 days to develop, right? It did. It took longer than 21 days to develop. And so I started to pick one day out of a week. Now, I started with one day. I was realistic about it. This one day, I'm not allowed to complain about anything. This one day, this was my challenge to myself. You're not allowed to complain about anything. And that one day turned into 2 days. It took me longer than 21 days to master the one day. Let me just keep it real with you guys, okay? Because I like to keep it real and let you know. Um, Realistically, sometimes people will be hard on themselves when they've exceeded the 21 days and they still haven't mastered it. It took longer than 21 days for me. Okay. That's the reality of it. But guess what? It's still something that I practice today. And so I practice it today. And the more that you practice a thing, the better that you get at it. Right. And so I developed an attitude of gratitude, and focus made the conscious choice, the conscious decision to focus on the half full portion of the glass and give thanks to every area, no matter how small or minute it might have seemed. Thankful for, the for every lash on my lid. Thankful for the fact that I have the activity of my limbs. Thankful for the fact that I'm able to talk. Thankful for the fact that I'm able to dress, wash, clean myself, brush my own teeth. Because the reality is, there's so many people in the world who aren't able to do these things that we take for granted every single day. So that was number one. I practiced gratitude. Okay. What I did also, I picked that one day, right? I also got me a gratitude journal. And so not only was I remembering before my feet hit the floor to be thankful for another day, another opportunity to get Tracy together, right? I also wrote it down in a journal so I could remind myself. You remember you need to do this, right? So I got me and I kept and I still keep. I got so many journals now, guys. It's not even funny. I got so many journals now. I can probably write a book, right? But it's an awesome thing because it was a wonderful habit for me to pick up. I keep this journal and I add to it every day and I continue to add to it daily. I learned to smile more often. I'm 51 years old. I love to tell my age, guys. I do because people are like, 51 where? But I found out that when you exercise your smile muscles, you know what I'm saying? When you begin to exercise the muscles that lift your face, right? It will keep you youthful. It will keep you keep you looking young. It'll keep you looking good. And so I learned to use those muscles instead of being angry and mad all the time and frustrated all the time. Guess what? When you mad and you frustrated, guess what? When you finish being mad, whatever you was mad at, you being mad didn't change the situation, right? So I learned to smile more. I learned to smile more, and I found out that when you smile in the midst of adversity, in the midst of challenge, in the midst of struggles, it changes your overall well-being. It really does. It gives you a whole nother outlook because it could be worse. You realize that I might be dealing with this, but there is somebody in this great big world that is going through something worse off than me, right? And so I learned to smile more often. I learned to appreciate and be grateful for the beauty of nature. Okay, I'm a spiritual person. I see God in everything, in everybody, and so when I'm out walking and I'm looking at the trees and I'm looking at the birds and I hear the birds singing, and I feel connected to nature. I feel connected to people because in retrospect, we are all connected. This is the thing people need to get. And so I learned to appreciate and be grateful for nature. I also learned to focus on my strengths. This goes back to appreciating the half full part of the glass and not really giving your attention and giving audience to the half empty part. I have weaknesses. We all do, but I choose to focus on my strengths. This is what I choose to focus on. And these things are conscious choices, right? And then again, I said I committed that one day a week to not complain about anything. And let me tell you something, that's a challenge. It is a challenge when you are used to complaining about everything. And so that's my number one in developing habits, wellness habits for a better life. Number one, you want to develop an attitude of gratitude. That's what you want to do. You want to develop an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful. When you open up your eyes and you are allowed to see another day, somebody else didn't. So for that, I am thankful and I am grateful. Okay, so number one is to practice gratitude. Number two is to practice mindfulness. Can I say that we don't really like to spend a lot of time with ourselves? This pandemic has really exposed the fact that people don't really like themselves. People don't like their kids, they don't like their husband. This is the stuff that people have found out during this pandemic. They don't really like themselves. And so it's imperative that you get some quiet time to yourself, that you quiet your mind. That and then you also, that's self-care where your mental health is concerned. And so how do I practice mindfulness? This is number two. We want to practice mindfulness. Okay, practicing mindfulness for Tracy is that Tracy takes time out of every single day to read something positive. Tracy takes time out of every single day to put positive affirmations into the atmosphere because I understand that I am powerful. Listen, when you come to understand who you are, a lot of people say, I'm a human being. Yes, we are. But in reality, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Okay. And so when you begin to learn how to flip that thing, baby, and remind yourself that I am powerful, that I am capable, and put these positive affirmations into the atmosphere that I'm not where I want to be, but guess what? I'm not where I was. And so, be kind to yourself. Learn to be more kind to yourself. This is how you practice mindfulness. You learn to be kind to yourself. You feed yourself good things. Turn off the TVs every now and again. It's designed to program you, thus television programming, right? And so you don't want to really feed yourself all that negativity, what's going on in the world and things like that. I'm not telling you not to stay on top of current events. You want to be on top of current events. You want to be aware. But you don't want to be aware to the point where it controls you, it dominates you. You become consumed with these things. And that's what causes people to get in the place of worrying unnecessarily because they're not really taking time out for themselves to remind themselves that I am powerful, that I get to create my environment with what I say with my mouth. Power of life and death is in your tongue. A lot of people are in situations because of what they're saying about themselves. They're going through different challenges and struggles because of what they are decreeing and saying out of this mouth. And so we want to flip that thing. Start speaking positive affirmations. That is a part of practicing mindfulness. And you have to practice that thing if you have not been in the habit of practicing speaking good things about yourself, being kind to yourself, and things of that nature. And I'm going to give you guys opportunity to ask questions. I want to give you this last point here. Um, Another thing, let me just go through the mindfulness. Walking, take some nice walks. That's spending time with yourself, getting out, getting some air, right? Meditating. I don't know if you guys meditate, but again, that's just you getting in a quiet place and quieting your mind. People can be overthinkers, and overthinking can cause stress. Stress can cause anxiety, and stress can cause physical things to manifest in your body. And now you sick. So we don't want to go through all of that. Okay, so practice quieting your mind, and just speaking good things about yourself. Be kind to yourself. A lot of times, can I just be frank? We want validation from without, want praise from without. We want edification from without. We want people to pat us on the back without, when every single thing that you need is already within. And so start looking within. Practicing mindfulness forces you to look within yourself and pull out what you need. It's in there. Again, I'm going to say it to everybody that's in this chat right now. You are powerful. Okay. Yes, you are. If you didn't know it, you are powerful. And the more that you say that thing, the more that you're going to believe that thing, and the more it will become your reality. Okay. And so, again, everything that you need comes from within. And we don't need validation from without, because it comes from within. It goes back to when I shared with you guys how um the pandemic revealed how a lot of people don't really like themselves. They went kind of crazy. I got a social distance for how long? Listen, I feel like we were forced into a position to really become to know ourselves, you know? Um, why would I expect somebody else to like me if I don't like me? That's kind of crazy. But again, that's what we do. We expect other people to like us, expect other people to give us what it is that we're not willing to give ourselves. And so this whole situation, yeah, it was a terrible thing that's going on in the world right now. But when for me, I practice gratitude. So again, if I'm looking at the half full part of the glass, this pandemic is on the half empty side, and the half full part is saying, what can I learn through this? What can I glean through this? How can I grow from this? What is it that about myself that I can change to become a better me? I use this time to practice things that will help me to develop into a better me. Okay. And so I spent time with myself putting things in the atmosphere about myself that I want to see to come to fruition. This is what I've done. I spend time practicing personal development. I spend time practicing emotional intelligence. I spent time practicing being grateful and thankful. I spent time practicing, just being more loving, more kind, more caring, more giving, more humble. This is what I did with the time. And so, number two, I would tell you to practice mindfulness. as a wellness habit for a better life. Okay. And number three, and this is my last point, guys. If you have any questions, I'm here. I'm free. I'm open to answer any questions you guys may have. Number three is take care of your temple. Okay. I say this all the time. If you give the body what it needs and you take care of this body, your body will take care of you. Okay. And so that's another thing. I just begin to develop a better way of eating. I learned to eat to live and not the other way around. Guys, for so long I was living to eat every single thing that smelled good, tastes good. Might not have necessarily been good for me, but I learned that, a lot of things that's out here, this processed stuff, body wasn't really built to be able to break these things down, which is why people deal with clogged arteries and they deal with sciatica and arthritis and inflammation and edema and all other types of sicknesses because the body is fighting to try to break down sugars and complex carbohydrates and processed food, and it wasn't really designed to break these things down. People are dealing with constipation and IBS and all other kinds of things, and so I learned to eat to live and not the other way around. Okay. And at the onset, I did share my story with you guys that I was an emotional eater. That's what I did. You know how some people go through things stressful and they can't eat? That wasn't me. If I went through a stressful situation, I was finding everything I possibly can to throw down my throat. And it made me feel better at the time. Of course, I got depressed after that because the results of you throwing everything down your throat that ain't good for you is that you gain weight. And then being perimenopausal, I realized you can't just go on the treadmill and walk that off. Now you're dealing with hormonal weight. And so it's a struggle when you have to deal with hormonal weight because now you got to fix the things that's causing or deal with the things that's causing your hormones to be out of whack. So it's not just the food. You go walk off 200 calories and you still holding on to them because your hormones is holding on to them. So I learned to eat to live and not the other way around. I got in the business of detox and wellness and healthcare along with what I've already been doing. And so I detoxed at a cellular level. I got all the junk out. I began to detox at a cellular level. I began to take a multivitamin, a liquid multivitamin that had 98% absorption rate versus me taking a capsule that by the time it hits my acidic stomach, the acids in your stomach is designed to break down your foods, that I'm only getting 30% of the one a day or something like that. And so I begin to put good things into my body and eat to live. And then my body began to be real good to me in return. So take care of your temple. A part of that is you eating to live, realizing that you eat to live. Give your body what it needs to heal itself. Again, the body was created to heal itself. All you need to do is give it what it needs to support that healing, and you will see magnanimous results. I don't care what it is. Okay, doctors, I respect them. I respect the field that they're in. But most doctors, if they're not holistic, if they're not integrative doctors, they only go to school to learn how to treat the symptoms. Okay, we want to get to the root of these matters. Okay, what's causing the arthritis? What's causing the IBS? What's causing the migraines? What's causing the sciatica? The doctor gonna prescribe you something for the pain, and he gonna send you home. Okay, he's trained to treat the symptom. That's what he's trained to do. Now, if you got a holistic doctor, if you got an integrated doctor, they're gonna get to the root of the matter. They're going to look at the habits. They're going to look at the things, the lifestyle that you're living. They're going to ask you, do you smoke? Do you drink alcohol? They're going to get dig down in there, baby, because they want to get to the root of the issue so that they can begin to tell you ways that you'll be able to reverse these things and changes that you need to make to be on a road of reversing what's going on in your body. What the things that they give you to do is not going to cause any side effects. A lot of the medication that's being prescribed, the side effects is worse than what they treating you for. Okay. So you want to be good to your temple. You want to take care of your temple. Take care of your body again, guys, and it will take care of yourself. Okay. And let me get to this last point. If I can get in my phone, it locked me out. Okay. Exercise daily. Now, for those of you guys who are a little bit older, I'm not talking about no get out there and do no Zumba, no Afrocentric exercises, but I would encourage you to walk. Take your nice 15-minute walk. You don't have to jog, run, or any of that. But you want to get up and get your body moving. You want to get your body moving. And you want your body to know at 4 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, she getting me up and we gonna have to move. Okay. So you want to practice doing some type of physical exercise daily. And if it's just a simple brisk walk in the morning or in the evening, that would be great and it keeps your body moving and that will help you to take care of your temple. And I'm gonna say for my last point is it's imperative to get 8 hours of sleep. When you sleep, your body's in a fasted state. In this state, there's things taking place in your body. That's important. I used to give me 2 hours of sleep and then I'm back up and working again, and it's just very stressful on your body. So it's important to practice, get in the habit of trying to get at least 8 hours of sleep. I know it may sound simple, and I know you guys may have heard it before, but it is very important. And it's important in that if you're implementing all these other habits in your life, it's just going to make it even better in your overall wellness and you feeling and getting to the place of your best self. I don't care what your age is. You can get to the place of your best self. You can feel amazing at right where you are at whatever age you are. And just by practicing and putting into practice some of these very simple habits to wellness habits to a better you and a better life. Okay. And so that's what I have for you tonight, Queen. If you guys have any questions, I'm open for questions, comments, anything, advice, anything. Where I get my herbs from, whatever. How much sea moss I take. Come on, let's get the questions. I'm open for it. We don't have any questions? You got any questions, Auntie Cece? Okay, so Tahis Love says, what were the challenges you felt and made your life change?
Tracy
Um,
Lee,
yeah, she says, what were the challenges you felt when making,
Miss,
sorry, brother. He says, what were the challenges
um,
you felt in making your life change?
Tracy,
Um, you want to say something on CC? I'm sorry. So Tahis, some of the challenges, and there were a lot, is because I wasn't used to. Let me just go into what was easy for me to practice was the gratitude. When I got into the mindfulness practicing, the challenge was that I was not used to. What was easy for me to practice was the gratitude. When I got into the down, mindfulness am I practice, the challenge was that I was not used to. Easy for me to practice. When I got into. Oh, because I don't know, whoever came up on the live there, you have to turn down your volume on the actual YouTube video. But the challenge was I wasn't used to speaking well of myself. Now I didn't speak bad about myself, but I wasn't used to speaking well and life into myself. And so as I began to get to a place of understanding who I was, believing it, putting those affirmations into the atmosphere, then it got a whole lot easier. It got a whole lot easier for me. But it was at first, it was a challenge. Also, a challenge was with me eating, changing the way that I eat because I was addicted to sugar. I was addicted to carbohydrates. Like that's a real thing. People don't realize that. That is a real thing, baby. Let me just tell you. And so me getting off the sugars, my body physically ate. Every single part of my body ate for the first 4 days until the glucose was depleted. Every ounce of me ate. So that was a challenge as well. Um, so that was a challenge as well. I don't know. Somebody has their volume.
Yeah,
You have to turn it down.
I know. I'm
You have to
gonna
turn it down.
turn it off.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right.
Yeah, so that was my challenge. Getting off the complex carbohydrates, the sugars. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't lie to nobody. It is a challenge, but when you have made up in your mind that you already realize if I want to see something different, I got to do something different, and that was the place I was in. I was in that place. It was time for something different. So that little sacrifice, it paid off. It really did. I hope that answers your question. Joanne Lee says, "What is the sea moss for?" Sea moss is a sea vegetable. It is a algae. I wish I had some that I could show you because right now I just have them made up in the capsules because you can also get it dried and you can actually put it in capsule form. But I do make sea moss gel as well, and I will get the algae and clean it, soak it. And sea moss is a superfood. It literally has 92 of the 102 minerals that the body is made up of. And so it literally gives you a detox on a cellular level. And so you know how people say they doing a detox, they really just detoxing their colon. Well, sea moss will detox your kidney, your liver, your cells, your blood. It detoxes at a deep cellular level. It's twofold in that not only does it detox you, but because it has 92 of the 102 minerals that the body is made up of, it's also replenishing those cells simultaneously. So you see a difference. You will see a difference in the elasticity of your skin, your teeth, your eyes, your sight, your hair. Okay. You will see a difference in all of these things because those are the minerals that support all of these functions in your body. Um, let's see. The next one, Danica says, "Hi, Danica. Thank you so much for being here." Queen says, "Danica is my business partner. I'm so glad she's here tonight." So she said, "How much sea moss should you take daily?" Well, if you're taking sea moss in the gel form, um, I take two spoons of sea moss daily, but I take it in a smoothie. So I put those 2 teaspoons of sea moss gel in a smoothie. If I'm taking capsules, I'll take 3. I don't know. Somebody's turned up again. We had to turn. Somebody's has their like both things turned up.
One
We had
second.
to turn.
One
Somebody's
second,
has
please. 1 second.
It's me. I'm trying to. I'm trying to watch and ask questions at the same time.
You can
But
do that.
every
You can
time I
return
go to
to YouTube.
right,
So
yeah,
turn your YouTube one down, and you'll be able to hear on this end because you're in the studio, so you'll be able to hear from the studio,
right. It's
even with your
just
YouTube
okay.
channel.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get my volume. Yeah, yeah. But you did answer my first question, and thank you so much. I'm trying to get some more questions in there, but
Okay.
I'll get them together. How
They
you
right
doing?
there. You could just ask them. You don't have to type it in there. You can just ask them. So Danica, if I'm taking it in the dry form, I'll take three double zero capsules. I have all this stuff explained on a video, but the double zero capsules are about 650 milligrams. That's what a double zero capsule. So I'll take three 650 milligram capsules a day. I'll take one in the morning. I'll take one in the afternoon. I'll take one in the evening. And it's not what you don't necessarily have to take it with a meal because it's food. Okay, it is straight up food. And people, when they go on fast, they can fast for 10 and 15 days off of sea moss. Okay. So you don't have to take it with food. I do one meal a day anyway. I'm on OMAD. I intermittent fast 20 hours a day. I give myself a 4 hour eating window. I break fast at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But when I get up, I do take my sea moss. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, since you had another question, Queen.
Mhm.
Okay, so Joanne Lee says, yes, I'm addicted to junk food. How long did it take to stay off? So, Joanne, I tell people realistically to do an elimination type of thing. I don't use the word diet, I don't like that word at all because what I did was a lifestyle change. It's something that I need to do because if I go back to what I've did before, I'm gonna have those results. So I like to use the word lifestyle change. Okay, so take your time with it because I'm gonna tell you something. It is rough. How much junk food are you eating a day? What type of junk food are you eating? When I'm telling them if you want to start to implement a better way of eating and you want to eliminate the carbs and the sugars, um, do an elimination. So just say this week I'm going to stop eating cookies. Okay, leave the cookies alone. Next week I'm going to stop eating soda. I'm going to stop drinking soda. The next week I'm going to stop eating sandwiches because bread is a complex carbohydrate that turns into sugar. Okay, do it like that because for me, I went cold turkey, and let me tell you, because I was at the place where my mind was made up. When you have decided something here, ain't nothing gonna stop you. That's the reality. But if you look at it as it's gonna be a challenge, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be this, that's what it's gonna be. So as you're practicing the affirmations and the positive things that you're speaking in the atmosphere, tell yourself every day, I could do this. And guess what? Ultimately, you're going to get to the place where you're not going to think about if it's going to be hard because you've already built yourself up on the I can do this. Okay. So take your time with it. I wouldn't encourage anybody to go cold turkey. I did it because I had built myself up to the place where I was able to mentally
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
So Joanne says she's tried, but she always goes back. Yes, you got to start with it here, hon. Joanne, you got to start with it. It's got to be here. If it's here, I don't care what's sitting on the table. I got to the place. I used to love sandwiches. Everything was a sandwich. If I had a steak, I got to have a piece of bread, a roll, something. If I had some type of pasta, it got to be a roll. I mean, I just love sandwiches. I did. I'm telling you, when I got that stuff out of my system and it hurts, your body hurts. If you go cold turkey, I'm just going to let you know it's going to hurt. It's an addiction. Sugar is an addiction. Let me tell you like this Google, and I like to tell people to research, Google what a heroin addict's brain look like, right? Then I want you to Google what somebody who eats or is addicted to sugar's brain look like. We all addicted to sugar. If I mean personally, I've weaned myself off. But people who have to have sugar with everything, you have an addiction. You're gonna see that sugar addicted brain looks just like an heroin addicted brain. So that right there was also I did a vision board. I put all of that up there. Do you want your brain to look like that? Absolutely not. This was my motivation. I encourage you, Google it. Google what somebody who consumes sugar every single day look like, and compare it with somebody who's on heroin, what their brain looks like, and then compare it to somebody who does minimum sugar, and I'm going to say probably maybe once or twice a week. And you're going to be surprised. That might be your catalyst to get you to the place where it's like, no sir. So I hope that helped you. But be kind to yourself, Joanne. Honey, the most successful people have failed a trillion times. And guess what? You know what makes them successful? That they did not give up. Okay? So be kind to yourself. We got any more questions? Yes.
Yes, I have a question. When you spoke earlier about being a hormonal, emotional eater. Um, if that's been your life, you've been doing that. You watch mama do that. You watch daddy do that. How do you stop that? How would you say is the best way to stop?
So this is the thing. I read this book. It's called The Four Agreements. Have you ever heard of that book? It's called The
No.
Four Agreements. In this book, it talks about how every single human being on the earth is domesticated. At some point in time in our life, we were domesticated. That just simply means the way you came up in your house, the way I came up in my house is different. The way our Aunt Cece came up in
Okay.
her house is different. So we have a way of thinking, like you said, that's what your mama did it, your grandmama did it. Some people call that generational curses or generational habits, right? And the way that a habit
Mm,
is something that you choose to agree with. What makes a person domesticated means that, okay, I was brought up on a certain belief system. I was brought up with certain morals. I was brought up on thinking a certain type of way. My mama did things a certain way. Her mama did things a certain way. And 9 times out of 10, that's what they passed down, right? And so it just simply means it's something that I agreed to. I agreed to do it like this because that's how my mother did it. What would make me domesticated is that I agreed to doing things a certain type of way, eating a certain type of way, having a certain belief system because that's how my mama did it, that's how her mama did it, and so on and so forth. The awesome thing about it is that you can agree to something else, sis. You understand? That's where the shift comes in. The shift comes in when you decide that that's how they did it, but I can agree to something else. I could agree to eat different. I could agree to believe different. I could agree to the fact that just because this is what they did, that don't mean that the way we did it is right and everybody else is wrong. Could you imagine all the families in the
mhm.
world and their upbringings and the way that they learn things? Every single person is thinking the way that I learn things in my house, my church, my synagogue, my religion, my morals is right and everybody else is wrong. That's what make an individual domesticated because you're not right and everybody else is wrong. Agreeing to something means I accept it. So if you, the moment that you refuse to agree to the way your mama did it, your grandmama did it, and her mama and they daddy and all that, you can change and agree to something else. You can agree to eat right. You can agree to do things different. And guess what? That's going to come through practice because, again, it's a learned behavior. This is all I know because this is all I see. So this is how my mama did it, and that's how my daddy did it. And so that's how I know to do it. But guess what? I choose to agree to something different. So it's going to come through practice. This. It's going to come through you practicing something different, and be mindful of it. And it's not going to be overnight. You may see you find yourself doing it, but because you make an agreement to do something different, then it's going to come to your mind like, wow, I'm doing it again. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come to your mind like, wow, I'm doing it again. Let me go ahead. And so the next time I'm going to practice and do something different. And after a while, what you practicing, that's going to become your new agreement. So I hope that
Okay.
helps. I hope that
Yes.
helps.
That helps. That helps.
Good.
Thank
We
you.
got any more questions. I love this. I absolutely love it. Y'all see, can you see my passion? Can you? Because I'm telling you, I live, I breathe this. This is what I live and breathe. And I love it. I love it. I love to give information so people can get to the best versions of themselves. That's my desire. That's my desire. If I could plant a seed, I didn't fulfill my assignment. If I can plant the seed, somebody else gonna water it. Now you know Mama Cece is doing these series. Auntie Cece is doing these series, so she's gonna be coming back watering these things, and then
Mhm.
it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow, and so this is awesome. This is absolutely awesome.
Any more questions?
Go ahead, hon.
I got another question.
Come on, sis.
I'm really enjoying you, and thank you so much for your presentation and the information. It's really, really good stuff. And so I'm a person that I like to ask a lot of questions because I like to learn.
Good.
And I
That's
think
it.
that you like to give the information, so that's all right. Plus,
Right.
uh, sometimes people are afraid to ask a question. They
Right. So
might
you
be
might have
thinking,
something that somebody want to ask. Right.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'm interested in understanding, how did you get started? You did share with us about how your the issues with your relative, the health issues and everything that inspired you. But like, where did you start? Like, how did you start, and how did you know that uh wellness was your calling?
So let me just share with you guys back in 2000 and let's say 1999, I did my initial um presentation as a minister in the church. I was ordained in the church. So I've always been somebody who poured into people spiritually. Okay. I feel like the wellness part is just it's always been there. And I think that what really woke that up on the inside of me and really made me excited about it is when my mother went through what she went through. When she dealt with what she dealt with. And for me to go get my thyroid checked, when the doctor said, uh, is your parents still alive? You know how they go through the whole history because they want to know what to check for in you. So that woke something up in me and said, this was my mom's story, but it will not be my story. So I need to do some things. I need to implicate some things because, like you said, I ate the way they ate. I had the same habits that they had. And ultimately, the outcomes are based on a certain type of lifestyle. And so, what do I need to do to change this lifestyle? I got to do some things to change this lifestyle. I've always been a CV. I loved his works. I loved what he taught. I just was like, I ain't eating like that. I like to eat, but I've always been one who watched him. And so I said, no, girl, you need to really get down into this. I've been curious about herbs and holistic healing. I wish I could take my camera over there and show you guys. Let me just see if I can pull a picture to show you guys. My medicine cabinet is just straight herbs and tinctures and capsules that I make for my family. I don't sell the capsules now. I am a part of a detox. I do create my own customized detoxes for people, especially women who are dealing with hormonal weight. I actually create my own customized detox programs for women. And I also promote um wellness products. So I do that. But as far as the herbs, tinctures, and things like that I make for my family, that's my medicine cabinet. You're not gonna find no bare aspirin in my medicine cabinet. And I ain't saying nothing is wrong with it because aspirin is really good to keep the heart attacks and stuff away, keeps your blood from clotting and stuff like that. But I got herbs for that. So My medicine cabinet, you're not gonna find no ibuprofen up there. You're not gonna find you ain't gonna find that stuff up there. You're gonna find elderberry. You're not gonna find no cough syrup. I make my own cough syrup. And what got me into it was the fact that I did not want my story to end the way my mom's story ended, the way her mom's story ended, the way her mom's story ended. And so let me really begin to study something that I know I'm already passionate about. Number one, helping people spiritually. Why not help them emotionally, mentally, and physically as well? You're already on this path. Okay. So come on, baby, just learn what you need to learn and holistically, because that's my passion. If I'm helping you in one area, there may be a deficit in another area. So my passion has become I want to help the whole man, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. So I just began to really study and become a student of what it is that I needed to learn. Not just herbs, personal development, emotional intelligence, everything that makes us who we are is where my passion lies in seeing people be the best versions of themselves. That excites me. Edifying people, building people up, telling them that they can, telling them that they're powerful, speaking into their lives. That makes me that's a blessing to me. That blesses me to be able to see the other side of a person on the other side of where they were, how they came. And so that, I mean, it's just the passion is there. That I don't know if I can really put a finger on, Queen, why it's there, but it is. And I'm trying to, just live this thing out because I feel like that is my purpose. Your passion is your purpose. I tell people that all the time. If you are passionate about cooking, that's your purpose. If you are passionate about helping people, that's your purpose. If you are passionate about pouring into people, that's your purpose. If you are whatever your passion is, that's your purpose. Period. So it's just I don't know if I can really answer it, but I'll tell you where I recognize that change needed to come, and it was at the end of my mom's life. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Now that you nailed it. You nailed it, sis. You nailed it.
Okay.
I if I got another follow-up question.
Okay.
Uh, um, uh, I too am a wellness energy medicine practitioner
I love it.
actually, and
Okay.
a wellness coach.
Okay.
And so, uh, and I love what you got going on, girl. And when you talk about the passion, um, yeah, that wraps it up really, really nicely. That's a great way to express and explain what that thing is that drives you to do what you do and come at it with such energy. So thank you for that.
You're
Um,
very welcome.
I'm really interested in the mind. So my thing is mental health and wellness. And like you, I too um, am called. I'm also a chaplain. I'm a deacon, as
Awesome.
well as a wellness coach. So that thing that that's God. He called you. He drew you to that thing.
Feel
And
like that.
so, but thank you for sharing that. Uh,
Honestly.
I have another question. Why
Okay.
do you think people you said the pandemic brought out feelings of displeasure within ourselves? Like a lot of people discovered that, you know what, I don't really like myself. Why do you think that happens? Why do you think people get to the point where they don't like themselves?
I feel like people get to that place because they don't really know who they are. Like I really do. Oh, the root I feel like is that people don't really know who they are, and they don't really have people around them to kind of emphasize that. I'm really big on edifying people. So if you don't have people in your circle that's doing that for you, you know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like, people aren't used to being alone. And so I feel like this whole thing is isolated. It causes people to isolate themselves. You understand what I'm saying? You have people who are introvert, extroverts. We know that. I think I'm part of both. So I can kind of flow on it either side, because I like spending time with myself. The time that I spend with myself, you're going to find me in a book. You're going to find me, doing some type of study. You're going to find me doing some type of research. My husband will even tell you, yeah, she likes her alone time. She's not one that's going to be up under me on what time you coming home? Why you ain't taking me out? Why you ain't spending no time with me? I'm not that person, and I think that it's healthy for people to have that alone time. I feel like people who are used to being connected to things, people, places, and things, that all of a sudden these all of that was taken from them. That shift it kind of put them in some type of shock, a mental shock, because I'm used to going to a job, even though I might live alone. I'm still used to seeing somebody, communicating with somebody, having some type of social connection every day. And so now I got to stay home, and I'm not socially connecting with anybody. And so, I mean, for people who are dealing with mental challenges, that could be very hard, because they do realize that this person made me feel good about myself, but I don't know how to make me feel good about myself. Or this place made me feel good about myself, but I don't know how to make me feel good about myself. And so, I feel like that's what happened. That shutdown. People couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't even go to some people, they just couldn't even go to their jobs, even though a lot of those jobs allow people to work remote. Not being able to have the physical connection, or being able to have the visual connection of seeing these coworkers and seeing people on a daily basis that you were accustomed to seeing, put them in that place. I feel like it probably was always there, but when you remove something, um, that a person is used to having, or use, I call it a band-aid, actually. When you take it off, you realize that this wound needed air to heal. You had it covered with the people, with your coworkers, with the places and things that made you feel good about yourself, and now it's been ripped off by corona, because now you're home, you're forced to look at it, and I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see. So I think that's what did it. But I think it's awesome that there's people who can, you can identify that and be able to really reach out and say, "I'm here, sis. I'm here, bruh. You're not alone. I know you might feel alone, but you're not alone." I feel like that's what happened. People were forced to look at a wound that they covered with people, places, and things. If it's covered, you ain't seeing it. But if you get it ripped off, now I'm isolated and I got to go home. I'm forced to look at that thing that I don't like about myself. People will tend to make you forget what it is that you don't like about yourself. But when you don't have those people every single day like you did, I think that's what forced people to realize I don't really like myself like I thought I did. You know.
Right.
And then also, I
Right.
feel like we need mental health checks on people. You know what I'm saying? We just need to do mental health checks on people. A lot of times people want to call and get in your business. Why don't you call and get in somebody's mind? Call and get in their heart. Call them for, I don't know what, it's something flying around me. I don't like bugs. It's so a little agitated gnat that's just, oh. But yeah, I feel like mental health checks are imperative, because just because you see somebody smiling at work don't necessarily mean that they okay. Yeah. So I just feel like that woman was exposed, and they're looking at something that was otherwise shadowed by coworkers, or a social gathering, or a social outlet that they no longer had access to because they were forced to stay inside.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna kill that. If he
Thank
fly back over here,
Oh, that's all right. Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I really did. And I'm definitely on CC. I didn't even know I wasn't connected to your channel. I'm going to be coming, peeking in your segment. So I'm going to be having questions over here in the chat area too. Are you going to do this every Saturday evening? Like you're going to have a wellness or some type of theme on Saturday evenings? Because I will definitely make it my business to come and support.
I also I have to I will have to see if more folks will come in Saturday to do the virtual. I have a session
I
tomorrow,
can't
and
hear her.
Yeah,
I
she's a
have a
little low.
session tomorrow, and
Okay,
I
you have one
have
tomorrow?
a session. Yes, I have one tomorrow and one on Sunday.
Okay. So she said she has another session tomorrow.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock. One.
Okay, 1 o'clock. Okay. So I'll definitely support more. I like to
Yes,
support my peoples. I do.
thank you. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supporting each other.
We absolutely are. We
Yes,
absolutely are.
support each
Right.
other. And then I have one on Monday at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled to be here, and I'm
Thank you.
grateful. I'm grateful for the questions, guys, and yeah, I
I hope
am.
hope you come back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe
And
here next
how
Saturday.
can we reach you?
Okay, guys. So I am on YouTube. I am Tracy Lee on YouTube. And I am on Instagram with the same name at I am Tracy Lee. And I am on Facebook, and that is, oh geez, this thing. I'm about to call my husband come kill a little bit. That's crazy. On Facebook, I have it's just Tracy Lee on Facebook. And you guys, if you connect with me on YouTube, I'm definitely connecting back because that's what I do.
Yes, I already connect with you. I am
Yes,
Tracy Lee.
yes.
I already long time ago.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're welcome. Um, Miss Love, say anything? Anybody else in the chat?
Huh?
I asked Miss Love if you want to say anything, or if there's anyone else in the chat.
Oh, are there any more questions? Who's out there today?
Huh?
I said, are there any more questions?
No, it don't seem like any more. So I'm gonna go ahead.
You can come. You gotta go this way, or you want trying to get to the back? Go ahead.
Thank,
We
thank,
can go that way.
thank you. I am
We'll be
Tracy
wrapping
Lee
up.
coming out and presenting,
You're very welcome.
and I hope you come back.
I absolutely will come back, Queen. I will.
It's been a pleasure having
It
you, and thanks to
really
Miss
has
Love,
been.
Thank you so much, guys. I had a great time. Had a great time.
and thanks to everyone in the chat. And I hope everyone have a blessed night. And I hope I'm Tracy Lee again. Tomorrow is the next session at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I hope
Can you kill that
you
gnat,
guys
please?
join
He's
me.
annoying.
And morning. And I hope everyone join me. Spread the good news. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channels. I am Tracy Lee and RCC's Kitchen. Go ahead and watch our video. Go ahead. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I'll be back here tomorrow. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to I am Tracy Lee. Thanks to Miss Love. I hope everyone have a blessed night. See you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.